Hello Kindred Spirits, and welcome to my spiritual oasis, here weary souls come to find inner wisdom and peace. Today we are going to be doing a romance pick a card. So I do have 3 groups prepared for you today. We are asking the question, what will your next relationship be like? So this reading is intended for singles. So for those of you who are single and ready to mingle, or maybe you're not ready to mingle, and you just want a little bit more information on what your next relationship might look like, we're going to be taking a look at your person who's coming towards you and some of the energies that will be present in your relationship. We are going to be casting charms as well as doing oracle and tarot. So we have a lot to get through. We're going to get right into it. If you need to pause the video at this time to meditate on which group you would like to select, please do so now. Otherwise, we're going to just get right into the readings. Hello group number 1, and welcome to your reading. We're going to go ahead and flip over your guiding energy. So we have a Rhino Spirit. Overcoming any obstacle. So first of all, let's talk about Rhino. So this card is also meant to represent your person as well. So this person is going to be a very strong person, a very sizable person is what they're saying. So it could be tall, could be a little bit more to love there with this person, but this person is going to have a gentle spirit, but they're also going to have a side to them that is very determined. This person could have, I'm feeling Aries energy off of this. Some of the disputes that you get into as you get into disagreements in your relationship, this person could be pretty aggressive or assertive about exercising their opinions in the relationship and in situations. This person is a very determined person. Obstacles are meant to either be plowed through or worked around. So it kind of depends on where you get them in their life journey. They might be a little bit more aggressive with how they approach obstacles, or they could be, like strategic, I guess, because the Rhino Spirit does represent strategy when overcoming obstacles and not like charging through the obstacle. That some situations do take finesse. So if you get your person in a more mature, and we'll get more information on that as we dive into tarot and other things, but this person is going to be very determined. They're going to be a very assertive person. They also are going to have a gentle side to them as well. That's going to be quite different than their kind of really aggressive energy. Okay, and then we have blessed. So your relationship is going to be blessed. It's going to hold a level of peace to it, a level of calm to it. There's going to be lots of harmonious energy present in the relationship too. So that's really lovely. Loving on that. I also feel like with this blessed card here is that this is going to be a divine connection. So whether it is a soulmate or other, soulmate, twin flame, something like that. It's just going to be this connection is going to bring blessings for both sides of the relationship, or both parties involved. And then another thing with our Rhino Spirit that I'm picking up here is that your relationship will overcome obstacles. So there might be some difficulties or challenges in the relationship, but just know that working together, the two of you will overcome any of these obstacles or challenges along the way. So we have act as if your partner is here. Ooh, I love that. whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them. I actually really love that because, especially, you know, this reading is intended for singles, and I feel like this message is very pointed that, I feel like it's also like what you're putting out into the universe too. So by acting as if your partner is already here, claiming your partner to be present, planning and preparing to have your partner in your life, really just kind of sets the tone for the universe that this is what you are intending to manifest. So to me, it's about being intentional, living intentionally when it comes to a partnership, loveship, and connectivity. So this, to me, talks about manifesting your partner by claiming that it has already happened instead of wondering whether or not it is going to happen. It's like you taking charge, I guess, and not leaving it all up to the universe. The universe responds to our energy. You know, so if we're unsure, if we're uncertain, if we are living in limitation, then the universe can't expand for us. You know, we have to expand our minds and our hearts and our souls and energies in order to receive whatever the universe has in store for us. So we have a waning Gibeus 6, and in the waning Gibeus 6, the message here is wisdom. So there's going to be a lot of wisdom present in your relationship. So whether that is you specifically or your partner, but a lot of wisdom will be gained as you guys go through life and go through these different obstacles and challenges. Wisdom is going to be a primary focus of your relationship. So this could be talking about a wisdom as far as like you or your partner could be wise, or as in, I guess, like being a teacher, being a professor, philosopher, but just the mind is going to play a large role in the relationship. I also feel like wisdom and learning is going to be critical to the growth of your relationship as well. So we do have the Three of Shells. It's about playfulness. It's about bliss. I feel like it's also about companionship and friendship. So it does tell me, and the message that I'm seeing here is that your relationship there will be a harmonious, friendly nature to it, a playful nature to it. Even though, of course, there will be obstacles and challenges and other sorts of things, there is going to be a playful, loving, friendly sort of connection to it as well. And you know, the Three of Shells talks about bliss, and blessed to me talks about peace. So there is going to be, you know, every relationship obviously is going to have its ups and downs, but primary energy for this relationship is going to be blissful and peaceful. And we also have our dolphins in this card. Well, you can see them. But we know that dolphins have a lot of similarities as with humans when it comes to like socialization and love and things like that. So there is going to be that harmonious, again, that playful, blissful sort of friendship tone to the relationship. And that is going to manifest in like a deeper connection. Like things are going to be deeper than just physical attractions. We'll get into some of the physical stuff later. With this card, with the act as if your partner is here, we have the two figures are dancing. So to me, that also talks about enjoyment, playfulness, and harmony, synchronicity, things of that sort. You also might meet this person. You might start off as friends with this person and or meet this person through your friends or friendship circles. And we have the Three of Crystals, which talks about collaboration, productivity. So you could also meet this person at work. You could be working on this like a project with this person as well. So meeting this person through collaborative means, again, whether it's through a job, a career, or some other sort of endeavor that you share and that you're working on as well. There will be a level of productivity in the relationship too. So this person could also be either you are the teacher, so you're teaching this person potentially a new skill or a new craft, having that like teacher relationship with them, not like a inappropriate teacher relationship, but like teaching them a skill, or they will be the teacher and teaching you a skill, but like some sort of collaboration where one of you is wise, like has wisdom or is sharing wisdom with the other person. It doesn't have to be in a formal setting, like I said. And then we have foxglove. Keyword with foxglove is connection. So similar to the message with our Three of Shells, I do feel like there's going to be a strong connection between the two of you, and that this type of connection is going to, it could mean like friendship too. Like I said, like a previous friendship is what I'm feeling. It could also be talking about like a similar job or similar interests, but there's going to be a very strong connection between you and this person in some way, shape, or form. In many ways, shapes, and forms is what I'm feeling. And then we have the Five of Crystals, which talks about persistence and new possibilities. So this is our earth energy here. I do also feel like it's talking about this person is going to, you and this person, like you guys are going to provide new possibilities and open up the other person's view on what life, love, and relationships are going to be like. So I am getting that there's a very kind of a dense quality to this person's belief system and understanding about love and relationships. They could have gone through some challenging relationships. Those of us who've been out in it know that that's not too difficult to accomplish these days. But just like your relationship is going to open up new possibilities and new understandings about love, and that both of your understanding, knowledge, and wisdom about love and understanding about love is going to grow and is going to change. And there, even if it starts out a little bit immature, there's going to be a maturity to the energy and the connection to this person. So as far as timing and meeting this person, I'm feeling like it could take some months, a few months to a couple of years. Again, this is a general reading, so it's a little bit, the spread is potentially could be larger or longer than other, just because there's so many so many people we're talking to. I keep seeing the word I keep seeing the number 3. So it could be 3 months, it could even be 3 years, because we do have a lot of crystal energy, which is that earth energy. So there could be a little bit of time before you meet this person, but I wouldn't get discouraged. What I would say is that there's a reason why there is time between now and then, between now and the time you meet this person. And the energy that I'm feeling is that you are meant to be working on something in your existence to create an alignment with this person's path. So just keeping that in mind too. Like, what are the things that you are meant to be working on? What are the things that you are meant to be focused on right now? Pursue those things. For some of you, I'm getting a message that you might still be in school, pursuing an education, so focusing on that. Some of you might be earlier on or younger in your career, so focus on that and suck up all the energy that you can. So the beautiful thing about age is that we come into the situation with more experience. We come into the situation with a more grounded and wise approach and perspective to love, and our expectations of love are more realistic, and then we can cultivate a relationship with somebody that is mature and grounded and perseveres. So just bear that in mind too, that the length of time is not necessarily a bad thing. It's what you do with the time. So as far as your physical relationship, we're going to snatch up a couple of key words just to get a little sneak peek. So the first word, that's lust. So there's definitely going to be a very strong physical attraction to this person. And we also have seductive. Ooh, so there's going to be a lot of spice and sass and attraction in this relationship, which is exciting. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to leave that at the PG, and we are going to do some charm casting for you and your person. And we do have our focus eye here to see where the focus of the relationship is going to be. Oh, got a lot. Got a little overzealous there. Okay. All right. So let's see. So in our focus, let's start there. So we have the word us. That's good. So it's going to be again, that connection. This idea of camaraderie, this idea of working together, this idea of, with this energy, act as if your partner is here, considering them, and they you. So I do see we have the anchor here. So there again, obstacles. We talked about that in the very beginning. But there definitely potential for obstacles to holding you back, keeping you two from steering your ship in the right direction. Let's see what other energies. We have the car. So could be some traveling, and with the 5 energy and their animal spirit, definitely travel is going to be of importance to them and the relationship. So that could be like vacation traveling, or it could include like relocation, something like that. So we have the peace symbol, which I feel like is very much solely connected to the blessed message and the 3 of shells message. So peace, lots of peace in the relationship, and that will be the focus of the relationship. And I feel like that is going to be what helps you guys move through some of the obstacles and challenges that might be present and holding you back from progressing forward. So we have the shell face up, so you guys are going to be open with each other. There's going to be an emotional openness and emotional maturity. You guys are going to be sharing your feelings, how you feel about whether it's issues or relationship or just whatever the case may be. There's going to be an emotional sort of openness to the relationship, which is very much so that Three of Shells energy, that friendly friendship type of connection. And then we have the King of Swords. So our King of Swords definitely could represent your person, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus in an air sign. So Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. But this person is going to be, this could also represent you too, but a mature person who is really about like the truth and focused on this person is going to be, I'm just trying to think about it. This person is going to have very strong opinions, but like come from a grounded and mature position. So to me, that suggests that they're going to be a mature person. We also have the Knight of Swords too. That's a sword energy. Let's get all these cards. There's lots of cards in here. I got overzealous. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Eight of Cups. Five of Pentacles, which is this too. So a double focus on the Five of Pentacles, which could also talk about health issues for you or them. And then we have the Fool. So you or them could be, with that Eight of Cups, you or them could be overcoming some sort of emotional situation. But with the Eight of Wands, I do see that there's going to be a new and exciting passion that's present. So this person could be, I said it depends on when you meet them. And some of you might meet this person when they're in their Knight stage, and some of you might meet them when they are in their King stage. Or you. That could be you as well. So in the Knight stage, this person is going to be Knight of air, basically. It's going to be very energetic, very vocal. This person is going to be all about action when it comes to the sign of air. So they're going to be very quick-witted, excited to open their mouth and speak, and that might not always be the best thing. The mature version of that, that king energy, is someone who is communicative, really sounding good at communication, but is also knows when to speak, knows when not to speak, sees the truth for what it is, because they're very observant and good at making like decisions and seeing the truth through all of the nonsense and BS. So like I said, depending on where you get this person in their journey, there's a lot here. So we have sing, and I feel like that is connected to this card. Singing and dancing, there's a playfulness to it. It could also mean that this person has a talent of singing, or you have a talent with music. So we have a shell again. The shell is face down though this time. I feel like that could be related to the Eight of Cups energy here. It talks about like moving on emotionally from a situation that's not serving. This person is going to care about their appearance and or you. This could be you or them. There is going to be a level of caring about how you look as a couple to the outside world. We have our two swans present, which I feel like is a good sign. It's like the Two of Cups. It's a good sign for relationships. There is going to be that togetherness, which we talked about us. We talked about also the physical attraction and connection in the relationship. We have the sun, which brightens up everything. We have the reaping of rewards. So there could be some work and effort put in earlier in your life and their life. And when you get together, it's going to manifest. That energy is going to fruit. So protection. With the Rhino Spirit, I did get a protective vibe. So this person is going to be protective of you and or you them. We also have the Starfish, which talks about regeneration. So this person is definitely going to be someone who re-energizes. Well, you guys regenerate each other. So it's like the starfish, when one of its limbs gets cut off, it grows back. So self-healing. So you guys are going to be really good at like talking things out, working things through, overcoming any obstacles that come your way. The Fool, I did see adventure. So we have a clock, which I feel like talks about obviously time, but I feel like in this context it's talking about patience. That the key to success in the relationship will be patience. Again, if there's a lot of air energy present, so there could be a tendency to like be very quick and fast at making judgment calls and decisions and things like that, but slowing down sometimes. And wisdom, we have wisdom in the owl, so 2 messages about wisdom. This person could definitely be older than you as well, or you them. Aries energy, you guys might not be able to see the charms, but we have Aries, which I said I was feeling Aries right in the beginning, so definitely could have strong Aries placements in their chart, Sun, Rising, Venus, Mars. And then we have the Flower, which I feel like really corresponds to blessed, really corresponds to that peaceful, playful energy that's present in the relationship. But the fact that the relationship will be like peaceful and also beautiful. So we have a Crown, which to me talks about you and this person being like a power couple. And so with the windmill, the meaning behind the windmill is like converting or transforming energy. Specifically air to action or kinesthetic, air to work. So we do have a lot of air energy present in this person. So I do see that this person is going to be transforming their air qualities. So the speaking, the thinking, the processing, all of that into a tangible, like physical working form for them. So they could be, this could be like a hint at their profession. They could be like a judge. They could be somebody who uses their voice to speak truth, like a radio personality or an author or a speaker in general. A professor, teacher is what I said before too, with the wisdom popping up a lot. So that's just kind of a hint there. And then the star energy talks about hope, light in the darkness. So you guys are going to, and this person is also going to bring hope for you. Like you're going to bring hope into each other's lives. And I mentioned that earlier as well, that, you know, some of the past relationships for you and or them might not have been the best, but connecting, you two connecting together is going to really provide that kind of like hope in the darkness and give you a new perspective about what love and relationships really can be and should be. And then in the chair, I see comfort, and I see this idea of like pulling up a chair to the table and comfort. I don't know why I'm seeing comfort, but that's what I'm seeing. But pulling up a chair to the table, just knowing that you both have like an equal say and an equal like voice at the table of your relationship, and that you guys come to the relationship as equals. Again, even if there is some sort of like a, you know, teacher-student dynamic in the beginning, that is and again, appropriate. I'm not talking about inappropriate teacher-student relationships. But like you teaching them something or you learning something from them, a skill particularly, and or meeting them at job or work or business, collaboration or collaborative efforts. But you guys come to the table as equals and you attack life as equals with each other. And we have the parrot, which basically talks about being mindful about what you're saying to each other and what your thoughts are, what you're repeating, and what you're speaking out loud. Just like being mindful of that air energy quality. I think I touched on everything. No, I didn't. The Three of Swords. I feel like the Three of Swords, did I say that was something else? I don't know. The Three of Swords and the Eight of Cups, I feel like are connected. Like moving on from some sort of a past emotional pain. It could even be infidelity, and it could also be just, we all have difficult relationships in our past, and thinking of them more as learning moments and catching the wisdom out of them, and not so much the situation that happened and kind of staying in that victim mode, but moving on from that victim mentality and catching the lesson and the wisdom from it and moving on. But just understanding that it's going to take time to do that. It's not going to happen overnight. And also understand that you have the key to your happiness and to the fulfillment of like what you want life to be like. So life is a song, so sing it. When someone says the word song, whatever the first one comes to your mind is, pay attention to the lyrics of that song. I don't know where that message came from. Well, I know where the message came from. It felt very specific. Okay. I would also say to make sure, because some of the guiding energy was talking about overcoming obstacles, and we had the anchor with the holding the wheel down, so which speaks to obstacles and things holding you back. I would say don't focus too much of your energy, like be mindful of focusing too much of your energy on the obstacles and the challenges. Make sure that you're also living with this person and enjoying their company and they enjoying your company, that you guys are also focused on the blessings that you have in your relationship and the really beautiful connection that you have, and not just those challenges, because every relationship is going to have difficulties to them. So group number 1, this is your love reading today that I have channeled for you, your next relationship. If something resonated, please do drop a comment down below, let me know. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already a part of the Kindred family. Would love to have you. Please also do make sure to connect with me on Facebook. That is where I spend most of my communication energy, I guess, is on Facebook. My primary form of communication is there. I do random 1-card readings. I let you guys know when I'm posting to YouTube and when I'm adding new content to my Etsy shop. So make sure to check out my Etsy shop if you are so inclined to do that. I'm curating content all the time there to help you on your spiritual and your life journey. So thanks again, beautiful soul, for your time and your energy today, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your romance reading today. You're asking the question, what is your next relationship going to be like? So let's go ahead and flip over our guiding energy. So we have turtle spirit, slow and steady wins the race. So our turtle also represents your person. So this person could very well have very strong earth sign energy in their chart. So sun, moon, rising, Venus in an earth sign. So Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. But I feel like the focus here is that your relationship is going to be progressive. and this person is going to be very patient. They're not going to want to rush anything, really. Whether it's relationship, whether it's love, whether it's making money. This person is going to be very paced and patient, which if you are a very high energy number 5 type of person, you're on the go, you like energy and excitement, this might be frustrating for you. But also keep in mind that the phrase is true, slow and steady does win the race. So it's about longevity for this person. Your person's going to be very focused on longevity. They're going to be focused on preparing a solid foundation for the relationship in all of the ways. This person, I'm getting the message that they're very thorough when it comes to whatever they set their focus on or whatever goals that they set out to. So again, like, being in a relationship is really important to them. Like, when they make that decision, when they finally come around to making that decision, they've processed a lot of the interactions and made the decision to pursue and to move forward. So they're going to want to make sure that they're setting it up right and that they are taking care of their responsibilities. I'm also getting the message with the Turtle Spirit that your relationship, from the perspective of Turtle Spirit, again, slow and steady. I'm getting the message that you could already know this person, but it could be someone new. But the relationship, again, is going to progress very slowly. And if you are a very high energy person, you might be like, does this person really like me? What's going on? Like, there might be a lot of questions on whether or not the relationship is going to move forward, because there's going to be a very slow, casual energy to the relationship. But I would also like you to bear in mind that time is what we need to develop really strong viewpoints about people, places, things, ideas, jobs, whatever it is. We need time to be able to see them in action and in their element, day to day, moment to moment. And I feel like your partner is going to really understand that. And again, if you're more high energy, if you're the hair type of person, it might be challenging for you to slow down a bit. But the reason why this is being called out is that there is a wisdom to taking your time, especially when it comes to partnerships and getting to know somebody. Taking your time and, really just allowing time to work its magic, making sure that you're being patient and observant during this time, and that you are, I say observant and not drawing conclusions. You're just observing and collecting information. Because that is definitely what this person is going to be doing. They're going to be patiently, collecting information so that they can make a sound decision later on. So that is going to be the relationship as well, that things are not going to be quick, fast, dirty, and in a hurry in this relationship overall. It's going to be slow and steady, but it's also going to persevere with that earth energy. I'm feeling earth energy very present here. And just in general, this person, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to that cups, that heart energy, this person takes their time with it because they value that heart space, and they know the power behind having a really strong, positive, uplifting relationship, or a really difficult, hard relationship as well. So let's flip over our other energy. Poised. Oh my gosh, how connected is that? I did not look at these cards beforehand. But poised, I feel like this person's going to be very poised. And the relationship too, which also suggests that there might be some sort of connection to the this person might be a pillar of the community, if you will, or have a presence in the world. So they might be working politics, or just be they might be a visible person. So again, they are very patient and mindful about who they choose and what they choose to do, because they might be like not being watched. That sounds weird, but they might have a career that involves them being seen, I guess. And also that poised, again, like you might not know with the shell, you know, our turtles have our shells. They could be a Cancer too. But yeah, getting strong Cancerian vibes here with the shell and with the water. But with poised, I also see like this person being very, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, a little bit not closed off, but it just takes a minute for them to warm up and to open themselves up to somebody in a relation, like in a love situation. Okay. Treasure your loved ones. It is important to love others deeply. I love this imagery. It is really quite lovely in this card. This person really does try, like it takes them a minute to come to conclusions and to get to know people and let people in. But once they do, that connection is going to be so beautiful. This person is going to be a very strong partner, parent. If children are a part of the relationship, they are going to be, they have a really strong connection to their family already. So like to their extended family, siblings, if they have any children already, that sort of thing. But family is a lot. Cancer. I just keep getting Cancer. Family is very important to this person. And they treasure their loved ones. And they will treasure you as well as their partner. We have the Queen of Crystals. Comfort and prosperity. This is that earth energy. This person is about their bag. Taurus vibes. This person does have a very... This person nurtures and grows their... Like I said, their bag. They're focused on building that solid foundation and providing for their family. So nurturing and nourishing their job, have a really strong career. That's gonna be the base and the foundation for their stability and longevity moving forward. You have the Three of Shells. You might, like I said, you might already know this person. You might, like, the Three of Shells talks about like friendship, but there's going to be a friendship presence. That could be how you meet, or it could also be or it could be talking about the nature of the relationship that you guys have and that you guys share. So I feel like having a playfulness, and that could be the reason, I'm getting the message like that could be the reason why they let you in to begin with, because it starts off as being like this innocent, friendly, playful sort of connection. And that kind of like gets past their shell in a way, which then like allows that relationship portion to be present. And then we have the Chariots, which is about discipline and determination, and has the rhinoceros as a part of the animal energy to that. So what I do see, which I feel like is no surprise, considering considering our conversation up to this point, that discipline and determination is very present. Taurus vibes here strong. What I am seeing here is that your relationship, there's going to be a disciplined energy to the relationship. As in, it is going to be paced, it's going to be slow. There's going to be clear direction as to where you're going. And like I said, once we kind of get past that initial, the initial energy of kind of being uncertain of where this person stands in a way, there's going to be a very focused momentum to it. You're going to know exactly where you're headed. You're going to know exactly what this person has in store for you guys as a partnership. And then there's going to be like a determination to getting to that place. Our Rhino energy could very well be talking about, you know, sometimes like anything in moderation, or most things in moderation are good, but in excess, trouble. So I feel like there could be a excessive sort of energy to this person's, like, again, their focus, which is great. It's great to have focus, but too much focus sometimes lends to the inability to be flexible and to pivot and change course when necessary. So you, like, I feel like the message here is, especially if you're a more, like, not go with the flow, but if you're a more, just like, pivotable person, don't be afraid to open your mouth. You know, don't be afraid to let your partner know, like, hey, you're limiting where we're going. Okay, maybe you don't say it exactly like that, but just like letting them know that limitation, you know, sometimes being too focused and too ordered and disciplined and not being not having the ability to kind of move and change can be difficult, can produce difficult results. And so I feel like the message with that is you might have to be the voice of reason with this person, like with the turtle spirit and the crystal's energy, so that earth energy and the chariot energy. This person is going to be very focused, and I'm getting Aries energy as well, but Taurus, Aries, and Cancer are coming up really strong. But just like reminding them, and or if you're vibing with this energy, just reminding that there's more to life than just like winning the race. Okay. All right, so some of our final energies we have as far as the cards go, we have service. So this person could definitely be in a service type of position. Like I was saying, like a community leader, but serving people and their family and their loved ones is very important to them. I think that's really beautiful. That could also be where you connect and where you meet if you are also in the community service type of person. And then we have the supermoon, which talks about attraction. And I feel like that also talks about the power of your connection. There's going to be a really strong and deep emotional connection in your relationship, and a very strong attraction to each other. And I feel like your relationship is going to be magnetic to others around you too. because there is going to be a really strong, deep commitment and a really strong like bond with you that starts from a friendship perspective, but also like that slow and steady. So it might be frustrating to get there, especially if you are, again, a fire sign or air. It might be frustrating to be patient enough to get there, but understanding that once you are there, there's going to be a really beautiful connection present for the two of you that is going to be healing and nurturing. And I'm really just getting the message to this is what this person does. So whether that's through service to their community, their family, and their future like partners, they're very nurturing. When they lean into it, they will just wrap you up, like they have these hands. In the image here, we have these hands kind of cupping these two people, and we have this water drop with the world in it. So this person is a healer, and like taking care, nurturing that Queen of Crystals energy. And again, Queen energy does not talk about gender. It talks about energy. So it talks about a really strong divine feminine presence. So this person could definitely be a male, or identify however they want to. But the idea is that the energy of that Queen of Crystals, that nurturing, earthy sort of energy is going to be present, like nurturing their career, nurturing the world around them and their family is going to be very, very prevalent in their motives for how they move in the world. All right, so now we are going to pull some of we got the supermoon. So I feel like there is going to be a very strong attraction in a lot of different ways. Definitely physical attraction, but we're gonna pull some keywords. This is about the physical relationship on a PG level. We're gonna keep it as clean as possible, depending on what word pops out. Okay. So, first word is shy, which I feel like is probably really not a very big surprise. I did say that that's slow and steady. There's going to be a kind of like passive energy to this person. With the Queen of Crystals getting like a divine, it's a water earth combination. So it's really talking about that divine feminine, which is a receptive energy. You might even have to pursue them or be the first to make the move, like to make a first move to let them know that you're interested. Masturbate. So, this person there's going to be a timid shyness to the relationship on a physical level, and there's going to be a lot of really strong attraction. But I feel like once you kind of break through that shell, again, slow and steady, break through that shell with patience and, making each other comfortable, then it's going to kind of open up and blossom into there's going to be a really deep connection though too, is what I'm getting, because of that time and the energy spent and put into the connection, and not just like hot and fast and burning and then gone. So as far as timing goes, it's going to take a little bit more time, which is probably not surprising with the turtle spirit present, but there's going to be a time before you meet this person. So, we have our crystals and we have earth energy and water energy present. So months to years. I'm getting closer to like the year marker here. But also being mindful that it's not just like stagnant time that between now and then. It's about, I feel like because there's some space between now and then, that there's a message present about work that needs to be done on your end in order to get to be ready for this type of relationship, because this is going to be deep. This is going to be long lasting. It's going to have longevity to it. So like making sure you're in a place to be able to receive this sort of gift. We are going to cast some charms. All right. And we have a little overzealous there. Okay. So we're going to start with our focus. What is in our focus? So we have the comb. Yeah, I'm feeling like this is more confirmation that this person is in the, I can't even think of the right word, and this is really frustrating, but like they're in the community eye, or they're very mindful about how they appear and what they look like to the world around them. And I feel like it's because their career, their job encourages that. So we have the violins. This person could definitely have musical talent, or you could have musical talent, but I also feel like the focus is going to be on the arts too. So this person you know, could be connected to the arts and or serve through the arts. They could be a musician, they could be a conductor, they could just support the arts. But beauty too, I feel like. And with the crystal energy, that with that Taurus vibe that I was getting, like this person is really loves, you know, really focuses and loves things that are beautiful. So whether that be the arts and or like physically kept, like this person is going to be physically kept as well. So we have the moon with the heart, which I feel like is an emotional, like a deep emotional connection, deep emotional bond, which is we've been talking about this whole time. And then we also have the peace sign, which there is going to be a focus on peace, emotional connectivity, and beauty in the relationship. And beauty doesn't necessarily have to be just physical beauty. There's all different kinds of beauty out there. So we have the baby bottle, which to me talks about family expansion. We have the shell open. So there's going to be an emotional openness. Like I said, once you get past the shell, once you get in past the turtle shell here, there's going to be a very open, emotional connection there between you guys. We have 2 Eiffel Towers present, so I feel like that's magnifying this idea of perspective, and or it could be a literal connection to Paris, whether you meet there or vacation there or something. But it could also be talking about perspective too, and the fact that there will be a sense of perspective in the relationship. So we have several words here. So we have play forever, reach, reach forever, play, play forever, reach. I think that's really interesting as well, since we did have the 3 of shells, which does talk about playfulness. Forever to me talks about the intentions behind this person and the relationship. So again, this person's that slow and steady. They're taking their time because they're interested in a long-term relationship. We have the heart, which is about that love. We had 2 heart symbols. It does have paws in it, so it could mean that there is a pet or getting a pet. With the bottle, to me, it's talking about expansion, family expansion. So it could be the 2 of you expanding your family and with children. So whether that is biological, adopted, whatever that looks like for you. It could also be talking about other people having children, not just you. So we do have a starfish present, which talks about regeneration. So you guys are going to be regenerative to each other. The key to me represents opening closed or locked doors. So you kind of opening up opportunities for each other. We have another heart. Gift of love. We have the Castle Toscana. which could be talking about Italy. So that, did I mention travel? I don't think I did. It could be talking about travel for you guys. Like travel could be something really, this person could be like an ambassador, some sort of diplomat that travels a lot. And again, they would be very focused on how they appear to the world because of that political sort of connection. So we have Seven of Swords and the Knight of Wands. So with the Seven of Swords, I do see this idea, sounds like thieves in your camp. So being mindful of who you're allowing into your relationship, what sorts of thoughts and other things that are kind of able to slip in. So being mindful who you allow to speak into your relationship. And I would say beware, be wary of that Knight of Wands person. I don't feel like the Knight of Wands is your person. I feel like this is some other outside energy that has the potential to like muck up some things. So it could be a relative, either you or them, or a friend on their side or your side. But just in general, being mindful of that Knight of Wands. So this Knight of Wands person could have strong fire placements in their chart, sun, moon, rising, Venus in a fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. Not necessarily, but it's like the energy that they're going to have this very fiery energy. They could be a distraction too. And I'm getting like they could also be another suitor and like in competition with your turtle person. That sounds so weird. Not, you know what I'm saying. But just know that this is gonna sound so bad, but they're a waste of time. They're a distraction. And again, because they are that fire, they're gonna be passionate and fiery, very charming. They're going to sweep you off your feet, like that sort of vibe. And they're not, they're not long lasting. They burn hot and fast. And again, a distraction. So don't be distracted. I feel like that was a warning that there could definitely be another person present while the turtle person sounds so weird, while this relationship is maturing. So just be mindful. Okay, so on that note, these are the messages that I have channeled for you today, group number 2. I certainly hope this was helpful for you. If it was, make sure to drop a comment. Let me know what resonated. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already a part of the Kindred family. I would love to have you. Please also do make sure to connect with me on Facebook if you so feel inclined to do so. That's really where I do most of my regular communications, there on Facebook, and I connect with all of my beautiful kindreds there. Please also do make sure to check out my Etsy shop if you're so inclined to do so. I produce content there to help you on your spiritual and life journey. So, beautiful soul, thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your romance reading, where we are asking the question, what is your next relationship? So we are going to go ahead and just flip over our guiding energy right away to see your person's energy and also kind of the vibe and energy of the relationship. So we have Elephant Spirit. Learn from the past. Okay, so what I do see in Elephant Spirit is, I feel like Elephant Spirit, as far as your person goes, could be talking about someone who is a more sizable person. So they could be sizable in different ways. They could be very tall, or they could also be, I'm just like getting solid, like a solid build, tall and or like sturdy physically. That was just obviously could be very specific to just some. But what I also see in our Elephant Spirit is this gentle giant sort of energy with them. So the fact that it's like like I said, they could be physically imposing or physically like tall and sturdy and strong, but I also feel like they could be in a position of power. Either way, this idea that they have power, they're looked up to, they're wise, but they don't abuse their power. So it's like they have the ability to, you know, kind of throw their weight around, but they don't. They're gentle soul, gentle spirit. And then the learn from the past is again about wisdom. It's about making sure you're not bringing past issues into the relationship, and that you're not sulking or focused on you as in a team, you as a team, the two of you are more focused on the lessons and the wisdom from past situations and not so much the actual situations. And we also have go the distance. So there is going to be a longevity to this relationship. There's going to be a focus on, you know, future and forward momentum and, what is the word? There's a word. There's a word that my brain can't, like, formulate right now. Endurance. There's the word. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, so go the distance. There's going to be a longevity to it, which is really beautiful. I love that. And then we have our waning crescent 5, which the key word for that one is peace. And I love it. So there is going to be a peaceful energy to the relationship that yeah, like you guys are just going to be the answer. Like I'm getting soulmate connection here, like the answer to a prayer. There's going to be a peace and a a really beautiful, like, peace and calm and harmony, balance to the relationship. New love. Okay. Love it. So this isn't a person from your past. Embrace an opportunity for love in your work, prospects, or for spiritual growth. New love. So this is what it feels like to be loved. I love it. I love it. The love makes me happy. When the skies are gray, no, you don't know. I don't know why I'm singing. I will stop. All right, so we have the 4 of Shells. And our 4 of Shells really talks about soul searching and reevaluation. I feel like you, as a couple, you guys regularly kind of revisit where you're both at and see if there needs to be any adjustments made to the relationship. So you're very much so aware of, like, the fact that people change, and if you don't adapt to the change, then you're going to end up losing something in the shuffle. The High Priestess, intuition, sacred knowledge. So the energy that I'm vibing, there's a mysterious kind of energy presence in the relationship. Almost like an unseen, undiscovered sort of vibe. there's a very spiritual connection as well to you, the two of you. And I'm getting like past life connection, learning from the past. We have the High Priestess, which is, it's about spiritual mystery to me. And this idea of soul searching as well. And the new love came, but it's like new old love. I'm getting like past life connection here for some reason, for some of you. But the fact that this relationship is going to be very spiritual. There's going to be a very vibrant, spiritual, wise, past life sort of energy presence in the relationship. So that's interesting. And then we have love. Yes. Soulmate. Did I already say that? Well, I'm going to say it again. Soulmate energy, soulmate vibe, twin flame energy, twin flame vibe. Yeah. I feel like love also talks about choice. So I feel like learning from the past, especially if you have a rough partner selection history, that the message there is that you have the choice in making the right choice through trusting in your intuition, and what you know to be true and real is actually going to be very prominent in prevalence in finding your person, finding your right person, choosing your right person. I'm getting the message some of you might not be the best at choosing. And then we have Dogwood, which talks about defend. And I do feel like I feel like this is really talking about defending your right to choose and select somebody that you deem to be the right choice. So protecting your right to choose. I also feel like there's going to be a protective sort of energy present in the relationship too, whether that's from you or your partner. But the fact that you're willing to, go the mile, to go out of your comfort zone in order to protect what you have as in your relationship. I'm getting past life vibes so hard. I also feel like that's the piece that's coming. It's like finding something you've been searching for that you didn't really know that you were searching for, but once you get it, there's an exhalation, there's a sense of peace, there's a sense of like relief to it. And that's kind of how I feel like this relationship is going to be. Like finding that divine counterpart is going to be a relief, it's going to be a release, and you're going to be willing to defend that relationship. I also feel like with love, the fact that you're going to have to choose this relationship. It's not going to choose you. It's not going to, just magically, appear out of the blue. It's going to be something that you're going to have to decide whether or not you want. And I am getting the message that some of you are kind of used to, in many ways, life happening to you or following a template. Whether that be overbearing parents or family members, whatever, or, your own limiting mindset. And I feel like this idea of soul searching, this idea of kind of looking inward and leaning into your intuitive knowledge and developing your intuitive knowledge so that you're able to make these sort of decisions and really getting better at like making conscious choices and decisions for yourself rather than kind of just letting life happen or following a template or following someone else's advice. But making sure that you're making the decisions yourself. Once you do that, I feel like it'll be easier and it'll make more sense for you to choose this relationship for yourself. But you're going to have to choose it. It's not just going to happen to you. Okay, and now we're going to be taking a little look at the physical aspects of the relationship and getting some keywords, some PG-13 words from that. So we're going to be keeping it, like I said, we're going to keep it sensual, sweet. All right, so physically, we have the keyword tame present. So again, I feel like there's like kind of an aloofness, like a deeper connection present. So it's not going to be that fiery, hot, like can't keep your hands off the person type of situation with the word tame present. That the sex relationship is going to be a little bit more vanilla, if you will. But we also have seductive. So though it might not be crazy wild with, you know, hanging upside down on the fan, like, you know, whatever, there's definitely going to be a level of sensuality to it, even though it might be a little more, you know, laid back or subdued than some other more risque types of love relationships, which I feel like is going to be fine. I feel like the relationship here is going to be a more mature relationship because of that past life connection. You are going to feel like you know this person for like a long time, way longer than you actually have in this lifetime, because there is going to be that past life energy present. All right, so those are kind of the overall messages, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to cast our charms to get a little bit more information, specific information for you, group 3. Things in our focus eyeball, so let's take a look. So we have our baby bottle, we have our koala, which I feel like it talks about patience. We have secret love bottle, owl wisdom, the key. Okay. So the focus of the relationship is going to be wisdom. That secret love really, to me, talks about past life energy. There could also be some sort of like you could have like a crush on this person, or this person could have a crush on you before you actually become a couple. And then the baby bottle, so the focus is going to be on family expansion, whether that be through having children of your own, adopting, etc. But there is going to be a focus on family and specifically little ones. There's going to be a patient, like a level of like patience in the relationship. And the key to the relationship is actually going to be about the wisdom, but also about like keeping yourselves physically attractive. I know that sounds that's very superficial. It sounds that way, but there's a lot of deepness to the relationship. But I feel like it's sometimes when we get into relationships, the little things that kind of slip through the cracks, you know. It's the little things that you just kind of stop doing. You stop wearing, you know, makeup, or you stop shaving the beard. You know, like there's just some things that you stop doing physically, and you kind of just like let yourself go. And I feel like it's the little things, it's the small, because there's a lot of like big stuff happening in the relationship. This idea of endurance and past life energy and this deep soul connection, you know, it's all these like hidden otherworldly spiritual more practical things, but Not, you know, but the key, it's the little things, you know, being present physically and also making sure that you are keeping yourselves up and things like that is going to be a focus. So I didn't talk about timing for you guys. It's almost like time is irrelevant. And I know you're like, yeah, it doesn't help me. So as far as like, because there's a lot of spiritual, past life sort of energy present, there is kind of like this bubbly, hovering white space of time that's makes timing a little bit more challenging to determine. But I do see, for some of you, it could be within the next year. So 4 months, 6 months, potentially somewhere around there where you're going to meet this person. That doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship is going to turn into that right away, because there is a steadiness to it. There is an earthy feeling and a steadiness to the relationship. This person could be a Gemini, or you could be a Gemini. Yeah, okay. So let's get into the rest of our charms here. So we have a couple of words. We have imagine, reach, treasure. We have the heart and the moon, which means there's going to be a deep emotional connection. The leaves, which talk about change. The fan, which talks about like moving energy around. So again, I feel like that is connected to the comb focus. This idea that there's going to be a lot of like deep spiritual connectivity to the relationship. Sometimes excuse me, sometimes there's like potential for staleness, if you will, in the actual physical manifestation, because there's so much like spiritual or higher level energy. So I feel like moving things around, changing things up, but that's something that you guys are going to have to be conscious about, that if you're not, it's going to slip off. You have to focus on it. We have the photo, which I feel like speaks to that past life, speaks to that historical sort of connection and memory. We have a lock. We had the key. We had the key in the focus next to the comb. So I feel like, again, the key, unlocking a door in the relationship that could prove to be troublesome if ignored, is that, you know, again, paying attention to the worldly realms as well and moving things around, changing things up. So you have the coffee bean, which talks about like energizing, you know, the relationship being invigorating and energizing. Again, because it is that soul level connection, there's going to be a lot of energy present. And we also have the butterfly, which talks about transformation. We have the eagle or the falcon, which talks about focus. And we have the shell, which is face down, which could be talking about some emotional energy, which I feel like is connected to the Four of Shells, this idea of emotionally closed off in ways at times. So be mindful of that. And we have the starfish, which talks about regeneration, that you guys are going to be invigorating and regenerative to each other. And there's going to be a lot of transformation, and I feel like that's going to, a spiritual and a soul level. There's going to be a lot of really deep emotional connections, even though sometimes you and or your partner might not be emotionally available. So making sure that you guys are opening up to each other and making that conscious effort to be present in the actual real world as well. Okay. Imagine with the moon, to me, connects to the high priestess energy. You know, the fact that there is going to be this mystical, elevated sort of energy to the relationship. And that's going to be beautiful and great. It's going to connect you guys on a really deep level. But I also feel like it could be troublesome, because it could encourage you to be a little bit complacent in the real world, in this physical manifestation, and not be focused on the actual relationship and the connection to each other. So that's going to be something that you guys are going to have to work on. That the spiritual stuff is going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy, but there is going to be some effort and work put into your physical connection to each other. So again, there's potential there with the seductive. I feel like seductive talks about potential. There's also like this tame, almost like kind of, I'm not thinking about this, like tame, almost really like subdued and like withholding, like this kind of, she's like too laid back sometimes. So there's going to have to be effort put into, again, the worldly physical connection with you guys. So, but there's potential with the love. With seductive, there's potential, but you're just gonna have to work at it. It's gonna be, you know, the soul level stuff, the big picture things, the, you know, attacking life, going the distance, the perseverance, and the fact that this is absolutely my person. There's gonna be no question about that sort of stuff. It's going to be, you're gonna have to put the effort in, and every relationship has that. You're gonna have to put the effort into the physical stuff. So, alright, beautiful soul. Well, these are the messages that I've channeled for you today. I certainly hope this was helpful, enlightening. If it was, make sure to drop a comment down below. Let me know what resonated. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not already a part of the Kindred family, would love to have you. Please also do connect with me on Facebook if you so feel moved to do that, and check out my Etsy shop. I curate content there to help you on your spiritual and your life journey. So thank you so much, beautiful soul, for your time and your energy today, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye.